I am back. I have not been able to um, do any videos on YouTube lately, but with my new classroom and things finally going in a good direction, I am super happy to be back. So I decided let's do a Halloween scrapbook layout. All right, so in Cricut Design Space, when you are able to call it up, you're going to start by creating a mat space so that you can anchor your pieces to it. So the first thing that I always do is I create a square and I make it a 12 by 12 size. So down here, on the left hand side of the column, you'll hit shapes, you'll hit square, and then put it on your mat. Now, this is going to be the basis of what you're going to put all of your other shapes on. So first thing I'm going to do is change this to a 12 by 12 size. So I'll go up here at the top of the screen. I'm going to leave the proportion button locked. I'm simply going to put in 12 and it'll make it a 12-inch square. Now, I like to see both squares on the page at the same time. So I'm going to reduce the size of my screen to 50%. So down here in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see the ratio button where you can enlarge it or make it smaller by hitting the plus or minus button. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and change the color of my mat. Since it's a Halloween layout, I'm going to stick with the black 12 by 12 pieces of paper. So I've changed it to the color. It's the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that. So the duplicate button is up here in the upper right-hand corner. And so whatever you have highlighted or selected, it will duplicate for you. All right, so when I go to cut this out though, the 12 by 12 pieces of paper will not cut on our Cricut. Cricut can only cut 11.5 by 11.5, but this is what we buy our paper in. So at the end, I will show you how you can hide, or actually I just delete because it's easier, but we'll delete these pieces when we're ready to print out. So let's make our second layer. Our second layer is going to be another square, and I'm going to change the color of this square to white. So I simply added a square. I'm going over here to the layers button. I click on the circle next to the square. I click on the color that I want, and then I go back to the square, go up to the size, and type in the size that I want. And like I said, Cricut will cut 11.5. So that's what I'm going to make it, 11.5. Again, this is going to be a 2-page layout. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this white piece. So I've selected it. I go up to my duplicate button in the layers panel. I hit it, and then I place it where I need to go. So I just click and drag. All right, so we can choose to do two things when we go get ready to cut out this layout. These 2 pieces of paper, or 4 pieces of paper, we can choose the 2 12 by 12s. Of course, there's no cutting. You would just lay down your 2 pieces of black paper and then get ready for the white paper. I normally just use my paper trimmer and I'll cut off a 1/2 inch and lay it down for my other piece for my mat. But you can still put it through the Cricut if you want. As long as it's 11.5 or smaller, you can cut it with your Cricut. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add some images. And I found some really cute ones that I liked a lot. Let me see here. I used Frankenstein. So, oh, I better show you how to do that first. I'm sorry, people. Let me go back to my canvas. Let's see. So I need to insert some images here. So I'm going to go over to the left-hand side. You'll see the image button. You'll click it, and you'll see images here at the top that's highlighted in green, saying you are looking for individual images. You can also look by cartridges if you want, or categories. I could type in Halloween. I'm sorry, yeah, I could type in Halloween, or I can go down and search all the categories that they've had for us. So here's one, you know, the Halloween one. It's nice. Everything comes up Halloween. But to me, it's just quicker if I type in what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back to the images search, click in that space, and I'm going to put the word Frankenstein and look for my guy. Now these were too cute for me, even though I like those a lot. They were too cute. These are uploaded ones that I got from Miss Kate's Cuttables. Shout out to Miss Kate. She's pretty awesome. But if I want to be able to share a layout with you, I can't use any purchased SVGs. I have to only use Cricut images. So the way I know if it's a Cricut image or not, it will say here subscribed. I subscribe to Cricut Design Space. I do it per year, and I think it's like $99 a year. And then also I own a whole bunch of cartridges. So let me find one right here. It says purchased. This is a Cricut cartridge. And the way I know is I click on this little I button for information, and it will tell me what cartridge that is from. See, Happy Hauntings. Also right here, anybody who has access to Cricut Design Space will also have access to this, which is kind of a really good reason to have a subscription. Otherwise, you'll end up paying for things if you don't have a subscription. And there are still, even after you have a subscription, some things that you have to pay for still. But I honestly can say I've maybe only purchased $10 besides my, access. So it's a pretty good deal. The uploaded ones that I get that are SVGs, they'll say uploaded, and you'll know that those are ones that you got from outside of Cricut. So there it'll say my image sets, and that means it's in my image set because I downloaded it to my images. Okay, so with that in mind, I love this Frankenstein. So I decided I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to next look for a mummy, I think. Yeah, maybe a mummy. And I'm going to try to find something that's the same line. Oh, here it is, along with Frankenstein there. And then I'm going to look for a spider, S-P-I-D-E-R. I'm spelling out to myself. Again, I'm still in the image search, and it's just easier for me to do it that way. You can search many different ways again. So I'm going to look something that's equally scary to my Frankenstein and my mummy. Let me see. I like that one. Let me see for a second if I can find something else. I might go with that one. Yeah, I don't want to make you dizzy. So close your eyes for a second. I'm going back to it. Okay. I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to contour some things out of it. Okay. And then I'm going to look for some tombstones. Let's see. Trying not to make you dizzy. How about gravestones or tombstones in one word? Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit to get what you want. I had it in 2 words like a silly person, but it is actually 1 word. So I retyped it and I got a totally different view. All right, let me see if I can see. I want 2 more tombstones. So I'm kind of going slow so I don't make people dizzy. I like that one. I need 1 more. There we go. We'll take that one. Okay, let's find a crow. Again, subscribe. That means I get it for free. And finally, a tree. But I need to find a spooky tree, like a Halloween spooky tree. Let's see what we can find. We're getting to trees without leaves, which is kind of what we want. But we want some more spookiness to it. Give me a second. See if I can find it. Goodness. Oh, there's a spooky one. Oh, there's a nice one. Not quite what I want yet. I'm going to type in the word Halloween, I think, next because this is taking too long. There's a lot of trees, obviously. So I'm going to type in Halloween and see what I can find, or a Halloween tree, maybe. See if anything comes up. There we go. So here's a Halloween tree that are kind of nice to use. See if I find. Oh, and then it's giving me all trees. Let's do Halloween. Sorry that this has taken a little longer than I wanted. Let me see. I know exactly where it's at. Unfortunately, I have to go see if I can find it. It is on Creepy Critters, Tree and Moon. Creepy Critters. So let's go to cartridge and let's go to Creepy Critters. I gotta capitalize. I'll just put in creepy. There it is. And there's my design that I want right there. So I'm going down to Creepy Critters, which this is a included access for if you have a subscription, which is really nice. Some of these are super cute. I'm going to have to use these for other things. All right, come on. Where are we? There it is. That's what I wanted right there. Okay, so I have everything I need. So I'm simply going to hit insert, and that was down in your lower left-hand side. And the next thing I'm going to do is move all of my images down here until I'm ready to put everything where I want it on the page. Okay. All right. I love that Frankenstein. He's adorable. Okay. I'm going to put in, I think, my title first. So let's do that together. I go over to my left-hand side and I hit the text button. And you'll see the text box down here. I'm going to put the Monster Mash. All right, so I type that in. I'm going to move it up here so y'all can see it. So it is obviously not the font that I want. So I'm going to change my font. Move this down so you can all see it better. I'm going to change my font. And the way I do that is I go over to the font area up here in the upper left-hand side. I hit the pull down arrow, and then I just start looking for the font that I want to use. Just something a little Halloweenish is what I want. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this looks good. The Alley Cat Bop, and it's included in Cricut Access, so that means it's free for me. So I'm going to change it to that. Oh yeah, that's really cute. The Monster Mash. And then over here, I'm going to put it was a Graveyard Smash. So again, I hit the text button. I type in my text. It was a Graveyard Smash. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. All right. It was. How about it was? Yeah, a Graveyard Smash. And then I'm going to click off of it, move my words up, and they are in the right font that I wanted to use, but I've got to make it a little smaller. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my letters a little closer, and up here in the upper middle of the screen, you'll see letter space. And so I'm just going to move it a little closer. And yeah, I'm still going to have to shrink some, so I'm going to do that. It almost fits. I'm going to make it just a tidge smaller. That's better. Make this just a little smaller. Okay. Just a tidge more. Wonder if I should put "It's a Graveyard Smash," because you know what? It looks pretty big. Eh, let's just wait. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is start anchoring some of my images on the left-hand side down here. So I'm going to put my mummy down here first, and I'm going to make it, I don't know, maybe 3 inches, maybe a little bigger. Let's see. I can simply just use this button here to um, shrink it or make it bigger, or I can go up here and change the size manually. So I might just change the size manually to 3 inches so I can keep an eye on how big the other ones will be too. So I'm going to change the width to 3 inches for all of my items. So I'm going to do that first. Here's Frank. So I'm just going to go up here, hit 3. These images that I picked up, and Frank's too small, so I got to make Frankie a little bigger. These images are for photo props or a photo prop booth, which I think is super duper cute, but they work really well for a scrapbook layout too. Okay, so let me show you a few things. This spider I'm not crazy about at all. I'm gonna move my screen down just a little bit so we can have some more space. All right. I don't like that it looks like it has blood coming from it. There's not a lot about it that I like. So I'm going to ungroup it. And then I'm going to start taking it apart. Okay. I do not mind. I think I'm just going to keep this. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe I should leave the eyeballs. Maybe I'll put this. I'm going to put this back on here, and I'm going to hide all these little dashes in the legs. So how I do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my contour button. Since it's unlayered and I only have one layer at a time selected, I can go down and change the contour of what's in my spider. So I'm going to click the contour button. And then all of the things that I can take out are highlighted here on the spider. So I'm going to go ahead and hide all the contour, but bring back not the eyes, but just the mouth. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to change this to red. So what I did is I selected the spider. I went up to the layers panel, clicked on the green circle, and I'm hitting red. And that's too red. Let's go a little darker. There we go. So what I did is I hit this very berry red, and that's real bright. So down here in this panel where the colors are, I just simply moved it to a darker shade, to the shade that I want. And then I clicked off. Oops. You know what? Do you see these legs right here? I filled in that contour and I shouldn't have. So I'm going to go back to the contour button, and I'm going to uncontour those two parts so they show up. Otherwise, they fill in and it doesn't look like the spider. So now I'm going to put it back together, and I layered it back up. I'm going to add eyes to it, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that here in a second, because I'm going to add eyes to all 3 of my images, Frank and the mummy and the spider, and they're going to kind of match, I think. So first thing I'm going to do is change this to 3 inches so it's like everybody else. And it is a little too small. So I'm going to make it just a little bigger. I don't want too big of a spider. Ew. All right, let's make Frankie just a tidge bigger so he looks proportioned with the mummy. And then spider. Okay, so I need to find some eyeballs. So I'm going to go over to my images button again. Type in the word. I'm going to hit images and then type in the word eyes. And then you'll have all these kind of cartoonish like eyes. And I'm just going to look for one that's a little scary, that's included in a subscription, so I don't have to pay for it. Oh, I love this one right here. So I'm going to insert. And then what I'm going to do is attach it to my images. Well, I'm not going to attach it, but I'm going to layer it on my images. So I moved Frank. I'm making the eyeballs more proportioned to Frank Look at the change that makes to Frankie. I love it. I'm gonna make him a little smaller. Yeah. Frankie looks cuter. All right, so now I'm gonna highlight Frank and the eyeballs and I'm gonna group them together so I can move them all at the same time. Actually, you know what I should do? I'm gonna ungroup and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna duplicate the eyes 2 times because I'm gonna use them on the spider and the mummy, but I'm gonna make them just look a tidge different by flipping and such. All right, so I highlighted Frank and the eyeballs and I'm gonna group it together and then I can place it back on the mat where I want it. So here's the mummy. Now, I don't want my eyeballs on top of the mummy. I actually want them underneath the mummy. So I clicked on the eyeballs. I go up to the top toolbar and I hit arrange. And I want to send the eyeballs all the way to the back of that mummy wrap. So I hit move to back and it puts the eyeballs underneath. I adjust it a little bit. And so that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select both the mummy wrap and the eyeballs and I'll hit group. And then I'm going to put that back. Now they look a little different because this one's hidden behind the mummy wrap, but it looks the same. So if I did the spider the same way, I think it would be too noticeable. So I'm going to put the spider eyeballs where they need to be, make them a little smaller. We don't want them too small because they'll be impossible to cut out if you do that. So I'm going to make them just a bit cartoonish big. And then what I'm going to do is flip them. So I go up to the toolbar at the top again. I hit the flip and I'm just going to flip them horizontal first. Yeah, and that gives it a different look, but let's do vertical. And it kind of turned it upside down and I like that better. So I'm going to select both the spider and the eyeballs, group them together, and put it right here. So now they don't look like they all 3 have the exact same eyeball. All right, I kind of like how that looks. It looks pretty good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I really don't want the moon behind that tree. I just want the tree itself. So that's easy enough to fix. I'm just going to go up here to the layers panel and then you see where the moon is highlighted. I can just hit the eyeball and hide it. So now I just have the tree that I want. The next thing I'm going to do is put my tombstones where they need to be. And you know what? I think I need a little grass. So let's go over here to images again on the left side toolbar, hit images, type in the word grass, and just kind of look for the grass that I want. I want it to be a little, oh, this looks good. I'll take that layer out and see what it does. I like that a lot. All right, so I don't know. I like both of the layers actually. All right, I'm going to unlock the proportion button because I want to stretch it out across the page to 11 and a half. Maybe just 11 even. So I'm going to type in an 11 for the width. You know what? It's too tall. So let's bring this down to 2. And then it gets a little distorted. Let me hide the lighter green. Nope, it doesn't look as good. Let me go see if I can find another grass that might look a little better. Just 1 second here. I don't know if that's supposed to be eyeballs in there. It's something. That one might work. Let me look. Now let's try this one and this one. So I'm going to select them both and then insert them. Next thing I'm going to do is delete. These look very similar, so I'll probably use this one. Okay, so obviously it's way too big. It's 34 inches wide. So I'm going to go up here to the size and I'm going to switch it to 11 inches. And that'll help that a lot. So yeah, that works a little better. I think I'm going to make it a little taller, just a tidge. Yeah, because sometimes in spooky ones, the grass is overgrown. So let's do that way. Bring it down just a tidge more. Okay. Then I'm going to change the color to more of a green. I don't know if I want brown. No, I want green. All right, so I'm going to change it to like the sour apple green. All right, so here's my tombstone. I like it. It's only 2 inches, so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to tilt it. So this rotating arrow here, or this arrow that looks like it's going in a circle, will let you turn your items. So there's one. Here's another. But I'm not crazy about the RIP like that. Let me see. I might put, I'm going to go back and look for a headstone or RIP because I need one that has a solid back. Look here. There's the one I used. See how this is, you can see the background in that, and it's not what I want. So I'm going to put in Tombstone again, see if I can find the one I'm using. There's one that I'm using that I like. Where's my other? Right there. Okay, here's one, and we'll just change the color. So let's delete this one. This one here, we'll make it bigger. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to hide the purple layer. Maybe I'll make the purple layer a different color. Let's make it a dark gray. Yes. And then the black, maybe make it a dark gray also. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to make this one just a little bigger too. I just expanded it out size-wise with this arrow that helps grow or shrink your item. Now, I want this behind my grass, so I can do it 2 ways. I can either select this and then hit up here on the top toolbar, arrange and go backward, 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 or to the back. If I go all the way to the back, it's going to hide it behind this white piece of paper and the black piece. It'll disappear, and then I've got to figure out how to change all this to the back. I mean, it's doable, but it takes a lot of steps. So I'm going to move it back to the front, and what I'm actually going to move is the grass. So I'm going to move the grass to the front of everything. So select the grass, hit arrange, and then move to the front. And then that brings your grass up front, which really is going to, oh, look at that. That is so good. I love the way that looks. Might kilter this a little bit. All right. Now here's my tree that I really like. Do you see the nice sharp edge here? Looking like it was made to come out of the side of your paper like that. I'm going to use that and make it just a little larger so it looks like it's bringing the tree to the front, and that is just coming out of your picture. So I'm going to arrange that tree to the very front also, just to give it a little bit more. Oh, look at that. That looks great. Okay, the crow I'm going to put on top of a headstone. So I'm just going to shrink it a little bit to the side if I want. I don't want to make it so big that it looks out of proportion with the tree. But again, you want to kind of make it look like, you don't want to make it so small that it'll be hard to cut. But it's in a different, like, it's proportioned differently because the tree is over here and proportioned out front more. So I think it'll be okay that size. I don't think it's gonna make it look too off. Okay, so now all that I have left for this layout is to change the color of my text and go ahead and add my photo mats. So photo mats are super easy. First thing I'm gonna do is change the size of squares. So I'm gonna insert a square, and I'm going to make it 4.5 and unlock the proportion button, which you can do two ways, down here in the corner or up here at the top where you do your size, and then 6.5. So that's 6.5 by 4.5, or 4.5 by 6.5. I'm going to go to the layers panel and change the color to black. And then I'm going to add another square. So go to the shapes on the left on the toolbar, go to my sizing. First, I'm going to unlock the size, and then I'm going to hit 6.5 by 4.5 to change it to a horizontal layout. I'm going to again move this down just a tidge because I'd like to fit a 3x3 square up there. It's going to be tight. Okay, so let's change the color to black. Yeah, I think the 3x3 isn't going to work. Let's see. Here's a square. 3x3. It's pretty darn tight. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's see. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Frankie, you might have to get a little smaller. Let's move you down. Mommy needs to come down a little. Let's see if this works. Just the littlest tweaking of things usually makes such a big difference, because I need to change this square to 3.5. And the nice thing is I don't have to unlock the ratio button because, yeah, let's see. The ratio button, because it is a perfect square. All right, so I'm going to arrange my title to move to the front, and then it's just going to have to be overlapped by the title a little bit, which usually doesn't hurt anything. Okay, so there are my first mats. And so what I'm going to do is just duplicate a couple of them. So a horizontal one will go over here, which looks like my tombstone's just a little too large. So we'll bring that down. We'll bring my crow down. Sometimes I work on my mats first. Sometimes I work on them last. It really is just a preference. Let's make this a little smaller. Move him over a little. Oops, I deleted him. Cool thing about Cricut is you can hit the undo button. So this arrow that's pointing backwards, you just hit it and it does it for you. So that's kind of nice. Okay, that's a little better. And then I'm going to use my horizontal one also, which my tree is probably too big for it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and create another mat for all of these. So I just hit the duplicate button, and I'm going to go up here and change the proportion, unlock the proportion button to 4.25 by 6.25. The difference though is I'm going to change the color to purple. This purple. Nice. It's too big. So let's go 4 by 6. All right. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to go to just a 3-inch one. So I'm going to change the color to purple. Go over here, change it to 3 inches. And that is good to go. Center it a little bit. Again, this is just for placement. When you cut out is going to be the important part where you place everything to make sure it's lined up perfectly. Here you can be a little off. It won't hurt anything just because it's just a visual layout for you of what it's going to look like. All right, since I have the same mat size over here, I'm just going to duplicate this purple mat again. So I'm going to put it right over here and place it on the other mat. And so now all I have left are these two. Go ahead and hit the proportion lock, change the size. Okay. And then change the color. Duplicate that for the other. Then I need to add oh, like a bat or something, just something to fill some space here. So I'm going to hit images and bat, and I'll choose one that is not uploaded or purchased, but one that's free with the subscription. That's kind of nice, but it looks a little too Batman-ish. This one's nice. Oh, I like that one. So let's insert it. The cool thing is the bats are so neat to use because you can shrink them a little bit, tilt them, make them look like they're flying, and then you can duplicate them, tilt them the other way, shrink them more to look like they're off in the distance a little bit more. This one should go down then. And then I'll make this one a little smaller. I rarely ever do things in even numbers. I always do them in odd numbers. So I'm going to do another one. Make him a little smaller. I put him up, this one down. Make it a little smaller. Not too small though, because again, our Cricut's going to have a hard time cutting out if they're too small. Okay, so that helps fill that a little bit. I think the rest of it's pretty good. Maybe I could use a spider web over here if I wanted. Let's change the title color to purple. Maybe a dark purple. Let's see what it looks like if it's dark. Yeah, I'm not liking dark. How about the purple of that? Maybe. Or maybe green, like, ooh, I like green, like Frankenstein there. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe I'll change the green to the same color of green as the grass. Let's try that. Okay. So I don't have it here on my color panel already. Oh yeah, I do. Is this it? No, that's not it. Okay. So if you can't find it on your color panel and you don't want to go down here and play with it, there's an easier way to do that. So I'm going to show you real quick. If you go to your color sync, and if you scroll down to the green that you want, which is right here, if you can see it, it's the grass, you can pull down any item that you want to change to color and to sync it up with the same color. So let me do that real quick. Let's see. Where is my... well, they didn't put the title in there. That's a shame. All right, let's see what this is. Okay, let's go back to layers. Let's see. Let's go back to that for now. That's right here. All right. Maybe I'll make this a little greener. Nope. It was that green. I just figured it out. Silly me. All right. Right here. Yeah, so now those greens match, and I think it's just better. So I'll do that other one too real quick. Okay, now they're matching. Okay, and I like that a little better because the greens look like they belong. All right, so this is the layout, what it's going to look like. When we go to cut, okay, anything you do not cut with your Cricut, you're going to have to delete. Now, if I go to cut this out right now, it's going to tell me my images are too big for the Cricut mat. So watch, I'll hit make it, and then I'll get an error sign, image too large. When you get that, it says right here, it's too large for a 12 by 24 mat, which is the largest mat. You need to make it an 11.5 by 23.5. So what we can do is when you go to cut this out, go ahead and click on the 12 by 12 page and hit the X and delete it. And I'll do it for both of them. And then you'll see it's ready to cut. and then you'll get all your screens here with all your mats. All right. Again, like I said, sometimes I just use my trimmer to cut this piece instead of making it go through my Cricut. It's only 11.5. So sometimes it's easier and faster just to do it that way, but you don't have to. You can put it through your Cricut if you want. It's really a personal preference. The last thing I would tell you to do is go to your color sync button. If you leave this the way it is right now, oh shoot, I gotta delete those two things real quick so I can show you. If you leave this like it is right now, you are going to have how many mats? 19 mats. And to me, that's just too many mats. So see all these different shades of gray? I would suggest to go in and make all those shades of gray the same shade of gray. I mean, obviously you can have a couple of shades of gray, but that's a lot of shades of gray. So let me get these mats back. And I would really suggest to go to your color sync and sync up those colors a little bit better. No, okay. There. So it's real easy. Just hit color sync up here in the upper right hand corner on your layers panel. See how it has white here and white here? Well, shoot, make those two whites together. See how this dark and this dark? Put them together. This is a mummy. It can go up here with this. This is a light gray. This is a light gray. Do you see? All I'm doing is clicking on this color bar here and just putting them together. So then they automatically, you go to, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm down to 11 mats that I have to run through. So this is a dark gray. This is dark gray up here. So I'm going to just click and drag it. And finally, this is a black and this is a black. I'm going to click and drag. And then I really like this. Let's see what it does. Nope, that makes it too dark. So I hit undo. It'll take it back. Okay. I think that's good. So now instead of 19 mats or 19 times you have to put something through the Cricut, you're going to be down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And that's much more doable. You know, you can change the color of your spider to even a different color if you want. You want to do green like Frankie, you could, or a darker green like Frankie. I mean, it really is up to you. But let me put it back to red because I liked it as red. Sorry. Okay, so if you want to save paper, or if you want to save, you know, having to put a mat through time after time after time, then, you know, sync up your colors and it'll look, you know, it won't have all the different variations of colors, but sometimes it really doesn't make that big of a difference as long as you have a couple of variations of gray, or any other colors that you use. I mean, black is black. You're not going to find a lot of different things that you can do with black. So really, it's just up to you how you do that. Just moving this around. Maybe I like it like that a little better. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to save. So I come up here into the upper right-hand corner and I hit the word save. And then I need to name my project. And I'm going to put YouTube Monster Mash. So when you guys are done watching this video, you can go to my Facebook page. I'll create a link for this page in my YouTube, and then you'll be able to click on it and you will have access to this page already done for you. And you can cut it out. And the reason you can do that is because all the images I used were from Cricut and none of them were uploaded SVGs. So I can save it as a public file. So I'm going to do that right now. And then it will give me an address. And I'll show you that. It'll link an address to the Monster Mash. And that address is not there right now, but it'll be there soon. Where did I put it? Where does it go? Why is it doing this? Maybe, okay, there it is. So this address right here, all I have to do is highlight it and then copy it, and then I can share it with whoever I want. And you'll be able to click on this link, and this Monster Mash layout as is right now will come up for you. And all you have to do is delete those 12 by 12 pieces, and you can cut it out tonight if you wanted. So video ran a little longer than I anticipated because I'm trying to get back into it, but I hope it was helpful. Please, please, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do not make anything from these layouts. I just like sharing. I have a Facebook group called Cricut Scrapbooking Layouts or Scrapbooking Layouts Cricut Design Space on Facebook. Just answer the questions that are asked when you go to join, so I know you're not a robot. And then you will literally have hundreds of links that you could click on and create your own scrapbook pages, you know, just by cutting them out. All the work has been done for you. All you have to do is just have the paper and cut. Oh, and a lot of other people that I have been talking to, you know, this white paper here, people have changed it to pattern scrapbook paper. I mean, you can do whatever you want. This is just a suggestion, but a lot of the times I will use pattern scrapbook paper to go along with my layout. Some people even use, you know, pattern scrapbook paper for their mats and such. And that is so much more personalized, but this actually creates the way for you to cut those things out. I mean, you know, scrapbooking is our own touches and our own memories and our own designs, and you know, just putting your personal touches on it makes it yours. So I'm happy to share with you all. I hope you have a great night, and I hope to be back soon and create another layout in Cricut Design Space. Thanks for watching. Good night.